Hey guys, Dave here. I got a question recently about probiotics for kids, and to answer that completely, I don't want to just give you the name of a probiotic supplement to take. I want to give you a little more background. So the first thing to know is that we as human beings, we coexist with microbes. Okay, you have about 360 trillion viruses inside your body at any one time. You have about 60 trillion bacteria at any one time, and you have fungi and parasites. And all of these microbes together make up what are known as your microbiome. Okay, and we need them to survive. Okay, so they're not the bad guys, they are good for your health when they're in the right balance. They're also referred to as your microflora, so I'll use that term also. Your microflora is everywhere in your body. It's on your skin, it's in your mouth, it's in your intestines, and you need it to survive. You need it to be healthy. You need it for your immune system. It's your first line of defense for your immune system. It helps with digestion, and in your intestines it creates B vitamins, which you need for energy. So the thing to know about a child's microflora is that it starts at childbirth. When the baby comes out through the mom's vaginal canal, it picks up the microflora from the mother, and it's transferred onto the baby's skin. It then replicates from there and creates the beginning of the child's microflora. So that's another example of how the mother's health determines the baby's health. Now, the important thing to know about childbirth is if you do end up having a C-section, what you want to do is request what's called a vaginal swab. Basically, they'll swab the mom and then rub it all over the baby's face and skin, and that'll transfer the microflora from the mom to the baby, and will begin the child's microflora. So the next step in creating a healthy microflora is to not do things that are going to destroy your microflora. Top 3 things people do. Number 1, they use too many disinfectants around their house. Disinfectants, hand wipes, things with a lot of strong chemicals and alcohols in them. Just use lemon juice and vinegar and soap, and that's it. You know, baking soda, salt, you can clean your house, and those things will clean and freshen up without destroying the microflora that's everywhere. Second thing to not do is don't take antibiotics. Antibiotics are just like they sound. Antibiotic, biotic means life, they're anti-life. When you take them, you're going to destroy not only the bad bacteria, but the good bacteria. You're going to destroy your healthy microflora. So there are lots of healthy alternatives to antibiotics, and that's a whole another video. Third thing is to avoid non-organic foods for a number of reasons, but in this case specifically because they have glyphosate in them. Glyphosate is the chemical that's in Roundup, and people use it, and farmers use it as an herbicide. It basically kills things. And it's in all of our non-organic foods at this point, and water too. And every time you eat something that has glyphosate, it destroys your microflora. So that's probably number 1 reason to eat organic food. Next step in creating a healthy microflora is to get dirty. Okay, allow your kids to play in the dirt. The dirt has your healthy microflora, and it's the soil, it's the earth. That's where it comes from. There's healthy microflora in the dirt, in the sand at the beach, it's in the air. It's basically everywhere outside. So make sure you let your kids get outside barefoot, play in the dirt, play in the sand. Let your kids be kids, and they'll pick up the right microflora from the environment. Next way to create a healthy microflora is to get out in the world and live. There's microflora on people. You shake someone's hand, they transfer their microflora to you. You touch things, you go, everywhere you go, there's microflora. It's in the air, it's in the water, it's everywhere. So when you just get out of your house, and this is why the social distancing and quarantining was so dangerous, because our microfloras have become limited, and so your immune system is also repressed because of that. Your microflora has everything to do with your immune system. So get out of your house and go live your life. Get exposed to everything. And the last way to create a healthy microflora is through your food. And I leave this one for last because most people want to go to it first, and all the other ones are extremely important as well. Top 2 things for food is number 1, avoid sugar. Sugar is food for candida, which is known as the bad bacteria. Okay, so you basically, in your microflora, you have the good bacteria and you have the bad ones. The good ones you want to thrive in your large intestines. The bad ones you don't. You want to keep them in check. And when you eat sugar, they thrive off of sugar and they multiply faster than the good bacteria, and they create all kinds of problems. You might have heard of candida. So it's probably the top two problems people have with their health in our modern society with the diet that we eat. So number one, for food, avoid sugar. And number two thing is make sure you get as much fiber in as you can, because fiber is known as a prebiotic. You don't actually need to take a lot of probiotics in with your food. What happens is, what you want to do is line your large intestine with the good bacteria. You want a really healthy colony of probiotics in your large intestine. And the way to do that is to eat a lot of fiber. The fiber goes through your large intestine. The good bacteria feeds on that and colonizes the wall of your large intestine. And that is what makes you healthy. So a healthy person is going to have a good colony of probiotics on their large intestine. That helps with digestion. That produces B vitamins when you have that. And when that goes downhill, your health immediately follows. So avoid sugar and take in plenty of fiber. And more specifically, in terms of food for kids that will help promote healthy microflora, it's always a question of how old are they and what can you get them to eat. When they're babies, the best food by far is mother's milk. You're going to transfer probiotics through your mother's milk to the baby. And after about 6 months or so, when they start eating real food, then it's a question of what are you going to be able to get them to eat. One of the easiest things is dairy products. So what we do is we get raw dairy from an Amish farmer in Pennsylvania. If you want more information about that, just let me know and I'll tell you how you can get that. So the raw milk is a lot healthier because it's not pasteurized, it's not homogenized. When they pasteurize milk, they heat it up and they kill all of the probiotics, they kill all the enzymes, they kill all the nutrition in it, and you're basically left with sugar water. So raw dairy is closer to mother's milk. If you can get goat milk, that's even better. It's closer to human milk. This is raw cow dairy, and it's delicious. And you can use this as a base. You can make sort of shakes with it for the kid and put all kinds of good stuff in there that we'll talk about now. So if you can get a hold of raw dairy, that's great. It has. You can also get cream. Yogurt is a great food for kids, and most people believe that yogurt has probiotics in it. However, it will if it's from the farm and it's from raw milk. It'll have plenty of probiotics in it, like this one. However, most of the yogurts in the stores are pasteurized and they kill off the probiotics. There are some in the stores that do have probiotics, but you have to look for them, and you look on the ingredients, like this one from, I think, Trader Joe's has it, and it'll say active live cultures on it. That way you know it has some probiotics in it. Another thing that kids like is cheese, and this is made from, this again is from the farm and is made from raw milk. But you can find cheese made from raw milk in some of the stores. Like ShopRite has a really good selection, and other stores like King's and Whole Foods and Trader Joe's. But again, you have to look for the cheese that says it's from raw milk. Whey is a nice thing to have at your house. This is basically the result of letting milk sour. So if you were to take your raw milk, put it on the counter for 3 days, it would separate into curds and whey. And you'll see the curds on the top and the whey on the bottom. You strain out the curds, and that actually becomes cottage cheese, which is very tasty and is a great probiotic. And then you're left with the whey, which is, everybody knows about whey from the protein, but in the live form, it also has plenty of probiotics. So you can add this to your shakes, you can add this to your soups, you can pour it in a little water and just drink the water and have a probiotic drink that way. If you can't get a hold of raw milk, I'm not sure how to get a hold of whey. I'll try to find that. Another way you can do with kids is this product that I talk about a lot, Maximum Vibrance. It's basically a green powder, and it has all vitamins and minerals in it, but also has fiber and probiotics. And if you just put a scoop in the smoothie, they'll never even taste it, and it's a great way to get your probiotics. Now, you can make your own probiotics from food. All you do is get a mason jar, pack it with vegetables, cut them up and put them in there, put in a teaspoon of salt, sea salt, and then fill it up with water. Make sure there's no air in it, and then seal it up, put it into a dark cabinet for 3 days. Take it out, strain it out, and then put it back in the refrigerator, and it'll last for quite a while, many weeks. And it's a vegetable, and it has all the probiotics in it. So there are probiotics there are microflora, I should say, in the air, and just the exposure to the vegetables through the air that you already put in your jar is enough to get a fermentation process going and create a colony of microflora and probiotics in the food itself. You might have heard some of the common foods that are fermented and so have probiotics, like sauerkraut. We get this one from the farm, where you can make it at home. And the sauerkraut that you see in the stores is not the same thing. It's going to be processed and all the microflora killed. So you have to make your own, or get it from a source that you know does it the right way. Pickles, if they're done the right way, they will be fermented and have the good bacteria still in it. This is another vegetable dish we make. It's an Asian fermentation. It has soy sauce in it, and it has all kinds of vegetables in there, and it's really good. And you probably heard of kimchi. This used to be kimchi. It's a Korean form of fermented vegetables, and again, all the fermented vegetables will have the probiotics in them. Just a matter of what will you be able to get into your kid, what will they eat. And the last way to create a healthy microflora is with supplements. And I saved this for last because it probably is the least most important, for all the reasons that I mentioned already today. The two main ones are lactobacillus and this one that I'm not even going to try to pronounce. I'll put the name of it up here. Those are the two main probiotics that are in most supplements. And as you know, I always like to use Thorne because they're a top quality company. And they have one for lactobacillus and for this one called Sacro B2. So for kids, you could empty out the capsule and put it in their food, their yogurt or smoothies or whatever. So again, the supplements are the least most important way to get your microflora built. If you're going to not eat a good diet and eat lots of sugar, no fiber, use disinfectants and antibiotics all the time, and then try to take a supplement to offset that, it's never going to work. You have to live a healthy lifestyle with all the things I mentioned already. Get out, play in dirt, play in the sand, live in the world, eat a healthy diet with plenty of fiber, breastfeed if possible for as long as you can. My daughter breastfed until she was 3 years old. She started eating real food at about 6 months. So all of these things, and remember, the goal is to colonize the large intestines with these probiotics. So if you're just taking in a supplement, you're never going to do that. If you eat the right foods, which are the fibrous foods, which are the prebiotics, that's what is going to allow the probiotics that are already in you to multiply within your large intestine and create a healthy colony there. And that is your key to health. So next time, look out for, I'll discuss multivitamins for kids. Till then, take care, be strong, be healthy.